And in business news, the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edun, says the federal government has unveiled a comprehensive economic plan for sustainable development. The minister disclosed this in a statement issued by the Ministry's Director of Information, Press, Public Relations, Mr. Mohammed Manga, in Abuja. Mr. Edun unveiled the plan at the KPMG Project Newsday, also outlined Nigeria's fiscal priorities and economic direction for the coming year. He said the government is committed to fiscal discipline, revenue mobilization, and an improved investment climate. According to him, the government has projected GDP growth of 4.6% for 2025 with a long-term ambition of 7% annually, a crucial target for reduction of poverty and sustainable development. And in other news, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited says it has supplied more than 80 million barrels of crude oil to the Dangote Refinery since the commencement of operations in 2023. According to the spokesperson of the NNPCL, Mr. Femi Shoneye, this was executed through the Naira-Crude contract. In a statement made available on Monday, Mr. Shoneye punctured the alleged unilateral termination of the crude oil sales agreement in Naira between NNPC and the Dangote Refinery. He explained that the contract for the sale of crude oil in Naira was a 6-month agreement subject to availability and is set to expire at the end of March 2025, adding that discussions are currently underway to establish a new contract. Mr. Shoneye reaffirmed NNPC's commitment to supplying crude oil for local refining based on the mutually agreed terms and conditions. Meanwhile, the Chairman Technical Subcommittee for the Naira-based crude supply agreement, Mr. Zach Adedeji, in another statement says their attention has been drawn to reports suggesting that the Naira-based crude oil supply arrangement with local refineries has been discontinued, forcing them to rely solely on international crude purchases. Mr. Adedeji says these reports do not reflect the realities of the ongoing work under the Federal Executive Council initiative on domestic sales of crude oil and refined products in Naira. He explained that the policy framework enabling the sale of crude oil in Naira for domestic refining remains in force. He added that the initiative was designed to ensure supply stability and optimize the utilization of local refining capacity. The federal government has been commended for exceeding its OPEC quota of crude oil production of 1.5 million barrels per day by 70,000 barrels in February 2025, marking a significant rise in the nation's upstream sector of the economy. An energy lawyer and analyst, Dr. Adeleoni, gave these latest commendations while featuring on our Business Nigeria program on Monday.
It's a combination of several interesting factors. The president has done an excellent job and his team around encouraging production, around encouraging investment upstream. You know, that's one thing. And yes, demand, local demand too means because you have a crude supply obligation, every producer has a crude supply obligation. So whilst they want to export, they also need to produce more to be able to meet that demand, particularly with the number of refineries we have and refining capacity we have. And also with respect to, it's not happened so many times that our major export terminals are all up and running. About 8 of them are all up and running. Every now and then you hear Pennington is down. One export terminal or the other will be down. So it's several factors coming together, happening at the same time, several good factors happening at the same time. Because it's not only in February that we didn't exceeded that quota. I think in January we exceeded by about 39,000 barrels per day. So it's good news. We just need to then be careful that there isn't an oil glut. I mean, if everyone begins to produce more. I know Iran did 80,000 barrels more, right? So I think it's generally good news.
Well, let's take you outside our shores now, where Asian stocks fell today sharply as market sell-off extended on mounting worries that a wide-ranging trade war could dent U.S. economic growth and lead to a recession, sending investors to a safe haven, Japanese yen. In Asia, stocks were bartered across the board, with Japan's Nikkei and Taiwan stocks hitting their lowest levels since September. Australia's benchmark index closed 0.8% lower after having touched a 7-month lower earlier in the day. Chinese stocks, which have been on a tear this year, were not immune to the downbeat mood. The blue chip index fell 0.5%. Hong Kong Hang Seng index slid 1%. Asian markets were taking their cues from Wall Street, where S&P 500 fell 2.7%, its biggest one-day drop this year, while the Nasdaq slid 4%, its biggest single-day percentage drop since September 2022. The Economic Community of West African States have reaffirmed its commitment to empowering micro, small, and medium enterprises as key drivers of regional economic growth and development. ECOWAS Commissioner for Economic Affairs and Agriculture, Mrs. Masange Toure Litse, said this during a meeting of the ECOWAS Small-Scale Business Coalition in Cape Verde. Now represented by ECOWAS Director of Private Sector, Dr. Tony Elumelu, Toure Litse, urging member states to collaborate in shaping actionable strategies for integration, competitiveness, and innovation. She also encouraged them to harness the African Continental Free Trade Area to boost industrialization, strengthen trade frameworks, and attract investments that turn challenges into opportunities. According to her, the coalition serves as a beacon of hope and is well positioned to create jobs, empower women and youths, and enhance economic cooperation among member states. Shares of major U.S. airlines declined in pre-market trading after Delta Airlines slashed its profit forecast, stoking concerns about the hit to travel from a weakening U.S. economy. The legacy airline shares fell 10%, while peers United Airlines and American Airlines were down 4% and 6%, respectively, while budget carrier Southwest Airlines fell 2.4%. U.S. President Mr. Donald Trump's tariffs have raised concerns about an economic slowdown and reduced discretionary spending, prompting travelers to exercise caution when planning trips. This abrupt shift comes as a setback for the big U.S. carriers, which just 2 months ago were benefiting from strong travel demands and high pricing across their network.